For this lesson, we're talking about solving and writing division equations. Something that's important to remember when we're working with equations is our goal is usually to solve for one variable. And in this case, right, in example 1, we're solving for R. For example 2, we're solving for C. 3, we're solving for R. And for 4, we're solving for D. And how we do that is we need to look at the variable and say what's being done to it. When we determine what's being done to it, we do what is called an inverse operation. Inverse meaning opposite. So for this, looking at example 1, we see that R is being divided by 8. So we ask ourselves, what's the opposite operation to division? Well, that's multiplication. So what you would do to solve this is you would need to multiply both sides by what is being done to the variable. So if R is being divided by 8, we are going to multiply it by 8. And what that does is you could consider this like a fraction, 8 over 1, because 8 over 1 is equal to 8. And these 8s are going to cancel out. We're going to get 8 times 4 is 32. Over here, everything else canceled out, so it will isolate our variable, getting us 32 equals R. So we've solved number 1. Number 2, we see that C is being divided by 0.2. So if I want to cancel that out, I need to do the inverse operation, multiplying by 0.2. Right? I could put that over 1 if I want that in fraction form. Multiply the other side by the same thing, 0.2. Well, these 0.2s on this side are going to cancel out, getting us just C. And over here, we're going to get 1.4. For number 3, I see that R is being divided by 2, so I need to do the inverse operation, and I multiply it by 2. I do it to both sides because that's what we need to do. You always do the same thing to both sides. So these 2's are going to cancel out. That's going to get us just R. 2 times 18 is 36. Over here, what's being done to the variable D? Well, it's being divided by 12, so I multiply both sides by 12. Well, the 12s are going to cancel out. It's getting us D. And if we need to do multiplication, you can always feel free to do multiplication over to the side. So you can do 0.25 multiplied by 12 will get us 0, 1, 5, and then 25, 0, 0, 3, and then since we have 2 decimal places, it would just get us D equals 3. Always remember, if you need to do work on the side, feel free to do that. For number 5, we have a word problem. It says 1/3 of a bird's eggs hatched. If 2 eggs hatched, how many eggs did the bird lay? Well, some things that we need to know. Okay, 1/3, right? 1/3 of something. Okay. Well, what is it 1/3 of? It's of the bird's eggs that hatched. Okay, so we don't know how many hatched until we get to the next sentence where it says, okay, if 2 eggs hatched, okay, how many eggs did the bird lay? Okay, 2 eggs hatched, and how many eggs did the bird lay? So we know that 1/3 of the bird's eggs hatched. Okay, we know that it is equal to 2, right? So it is equal to 2. So 1/3, okay, of the eggs that the bird laid. Let's say we use the variable n equaling the number of eggs laid. 1/3 of the number of eggs laid will equal, well, it said 2 of them were laid. Okay, so 1/3 of the number of eggs laid by the bird hatched, and that is equal to 2. And we can simplify this. We could say, well, of could mean multiplication. 1/3 times n equals 2. That still doesn't quite look like what we're used to, seeing how it's with these. You could solve it like this, or you could say, well, I want to turn it into a problem like we're working on. Well, 1 times any number is that number. So we could say n over 3, because 1 times n is n. 1 over 3 equals 2. And that would get us to a problem like we've been working with. So I would multiply both sides by, well, what's happening to n? N is being divided by 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. That will cancel out. N equals 2 times 3 is 6. So the number of eggs that the bird laid is equal to 6.